Today we are going live. We are now live and streaming for everybody to listen in. So happy Tuesday. I did a broadcast earlier today with Oliver, who shared a lot of insights into the inflation updates and the CPI. We'll be sharing that via YouTube really soon, so you get the full skinny on what's going on and the November inflation review from Truflation, right? What is that like, and how does that stand up against everybody else, and what we're doing? Anyway, I'm the founder, and I'm Stefan Roost, founder and CEO of Truflation.com, and actually the builder, the CEO at Laguna Labs, who's behind building Truflation.com, as well as Truth Network, which is the network that actually powers all the data for Truflation.com. Anyway, back here again every Tuesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. Central European Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and that puts it at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. So here we are, giving you a bit of an update of lay of the land, what's going on macro level, addressing some of the Truflation.com updates, and then ultimately addressing some of the AMAs that you have. The only way you can get to me via AMA is if you comment on YouTube. So go over there. I know we're live on Twitter, and you may just be interested in watching. You can also tweet, retweet, and share this, and I will pick them up over there. And maybe not instantaneously, but we'll follow. You can follow me at the Real S Rust. That's my Twitter, or follow us on Truflation, TRUflation, and you'll find that on Twitter as well as on YouTube. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you some of the things today before I hand over to the video. I'll keep it short because you want to watch the video that I had with Oliver, and Oliver giving the presentation that generally we give to enterprise customers. And you can see that, as you know, we've been predicting the inflation rates for the last, 2 years. We've been on the money every single time, pretty much, except when the government changes their methodology. Then we need to recalibrate. But we're down to a 99.99% accuracy in forecasting the government numbers. And why do we do that? Because we actually have the numbers real time. If you use the Truflation numbers, you can actually get a window advantage over that of the government numbers. So when the government numbers come out, you can actually trade off the predictability that we are at least 2 weeks ahead, and in some cases up to 2 months ahead. So that gives you a big trading window to take advantage on some of the investment opportunities associated with oil, silver, gold, Bitcoin, SPX 500. So what is that? The Standard & Poor's SP 500s, Standard & Poor's 500, and or trade on some other things. But anyway, that's just a bit of an insight, what we're doing and why we do real-time inflation and how that helps you get data faster. Yeah, and just talking about inflation, a lot of people have been talking about inflation, and I'm going to share a quick screenshot here with you, published by the Koblesi letter. If you're not subscribed to that, please go and subscribe to that. They have some really good insights, but here you don't need to subscribe to it. You can just follow it. I just follow it. But basically here, Kalshi's forecasting 2.7, Bank of America 2.6, TD Securities 2.6, Barclays 2.7777778. 8. The Europeans are forecasting 2.8. Interesting. The Japanese 2.7, the Americans all pretty much on 2.7, the French and the Brits on 2.7. Must be all American analysts, but working at those institutions. But you're likely to see more conservative analysts at UBS, maybe more aggressive at Goldman Sachs, and then the community voting at Kalshi. What does Polymarket say? Have any of you checked out Polymarket? Polymarket, I think, is equally balanced out at 2.7. Polymarket. And by the way, if you want to bet on this, and if you are believing November inflation you can see here, I'm sharing the tab right now. So here you see the November inflation. And what do we see? We can see, if demand increases, inflation rises. You betcha. Thanks, Inspire from me. Awesome. Yeah, look, November inflation, you can see here the biggest pool is 52% expect a 2.7. But only 7,000 people betting. Have you bet? If you haven't, maybe you want to look into that. This is an option for you to participate. We have bet. So Truflation has put money into its forecast. In order to find out its forecast, stay tuned to the later end of the show or watch the video that will be on the Truflation YouTube channel so that you can watch it and get updates on the economic situation and what the economy looks like in November. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's pretty much where Polymarket's at. We saw what Kalshi says. What else can you bet on in this period, right? We know next week we have the Fed meets. So Fed decision in November. It's largely going to be driven by data, right? So Jerome Powell always says data manages and influences his decision-making process. If that's the case, what is his decision going to look like based on data? He says he uses data. And so the underlying data, if you watch the YouTube video from Oliver, you will be surprised in terms of all that data and what's going on and why the likelihood of no change is very strong, but the market is still anticipating a 25% basis point decrease. Interesting, right? 0.25 decrease, $3.3 million betting on that, but still 3.6 million betting on a no change. And so maybe I wonder what the bets look like. Why is it only 12%? If you have 3.6 million there, 3.3 in there, and 5 million betting on the chance of 1%. Huh. Is it because a lot of people are betting no? So they're betting the downside. So if you're betting yes here, you got to be betting no over here, right? And so actually that's why you see the prices so much higher. Everybody's forecasting no over here and yes over here, no over here, no over here. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. There you go. Always learning how to play these markets. That's just how you need to think and how you need to forecast. I'm just a yes, no. I think it's a binary option, but ultimately it's becoming much more tradable and you can trade these actions and activities. Anyway, that's sort of what the Koblesi letter is saying. As you can see out here, everybody's forecasts coming in. And one of the things is here, you'll always see they talk about core CPI. What's that mean, right? And so what does the core CPI mean? The core CPI includes more volatile assets. Watch the Oliver YouTube video and you'll find out. But what it includes is volatile like food and energy. Things you need to survive, are in the non-core. Sorry, I always get confused because for me, it's core that you have food and electricity in there because you need that to survive. It's core to your survival. But actually, to the core CPI inflation, they extract those elements out of inflation. And so you can see headline inflation is 2.7, core, which is outside, excluding food, excluding food and excluding energy, right? So non-core, and that's sort of what the headline inflation is. That includes those elements, and the 3.3 excludes those elements. It's funny, but we're seeing a rising prices in food. But anyway, that's it. Talking about food and rising prices, any of you seen this graph? Do you know what this is? This is coffee. Coffee prices going up. Look at that. Look at that insane bump in November from 242 up to 320. That's $100 increase over the course of a month just in coffee. Did you buy into coffee? Did you ape in? That's better than most meme coins, right? And so there you go. This is a movement. This is a culture. This is something to buy in that has substance and you consume every single day. Or I do. I consume a whole jug of coffee every day. Why? I love my caffeine. And the interesting thing is, where and what is coffee all about? And so there are two types of coffee beans. I'm going to give you a bit of a coffee lecture because I love coffee. I drink a lot of Death Wish coffee. I love Death Wish coffee. Why? It's the strongest coffee out there, and it has an awesome name, a beautiful brand logo, and it's got the skull. And at the swim club I used to swim with, I used to have a nickname. We used to have a subgroup. We were the Pirates. And so Pirates, Skull, Death Wish coffee, da-da-da-da-da. I still love Death Wish coffee, mainly because it's the strongest and it tastes amazing. Anyway, that's my sell on Death Wish coffee. But there are two types of coffee beans out there, coffee Arabica and Robusta. The one that we drink a lot is the Arabica because it's well balanced. It's not as bitter, and it's slightly more expensive, but has less caffeine. So when you get espresso roast or super strong roast, it will have a blend between Arabica and Robusta to increase the strength of coffee. And here you can see, usually used in instant coffee is Robusta. And then, yeah, this just has a larger bean size. So anyway, food for thought. Where does coffee come from? Who are the biggest? So again, thinking alpha. Where do I get my alpha from? How do I learn? What are the top sources of coffee? So what do? I go and look up where are and who is the biggest producer of coffee? Brazil. By far, hands down, Brazil leads coffee production. Look at that, blue. What is blue? Blue means they produce 3.5 million tons in 2022. So what are they producing now? And why has coffee prices surged, by the way? They've surged because of a fear of undersupply, over demand. We're going into Christmas holidays. I don't know, a lot of people drink coffee. I don't know, I drink coffee every single day. I can't live without coffee, so I don't understand why all of a sudden there's going to be a surge in demand. But yeah, here you can see the surge comes after mounting worries over global supply crunch, making coffee a hot commodity. In the old days, one of the big economic lessons when you studied economy at university was always the case. What Brazil used to do when they had an overproduction of coffee, they would just dump coffee beans into the ocean so that there would not be a glut of supply, and instead they would be able to have a bigger meet the demand out there and retain pricing. I suppose that doesn't happen anymore. It's not the right thing to do, and I guess coffee is in such high demand that it is really important to track and monitor, right? Yeah, so here you can see, the coffee producing nations. I think I shared this already. You got Brazil. So Brazil is a big example, but the other country that's really interesting is Vietnam. Look at Vietnam, dark green here, about 2 million. And then you've got these Indonesia, and Sumatra. That's sort of what you hear of. So those are interesting. India as well. So those are some of the nations producing coffee. Who's this up here? Ethiopia. There you go. Coffee production. Now you can actually see the stats here. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so there you go. You can find out which are the biggest nations. So what does that mean? They're going to be having more export. What does that mean for export? What is their income at a P&L level, at the government level? Do they have tariffs on export? Will that generate excess and surplus revenue? I don't think so too much, but then who are the biggest players in the coffee space, right? But anyway, I just wanted to highlight there's mounting worries over global supply crunch. Prices have now exceeded the highs of 1975 when Black Frost disaster decimated Brazilian coffee trees. Again, so Brazil definitely drives the market with some 60% of global supply. What do they have here? Look here, they're producing 3 million tons. That's 3 million, right? 3 million tons, right? And then over here, you see Vietnam, they're producing just shy of 2 million tons. So between those two, they pretty much cover global supply, I'd reckon. around that. So have a look at that. Meanwhile, global food prices are now up 25% since 2000. And if you go to Truflation.com, you see that anyway, right? So we go to aggregated US inflation index. You can come to the composition. You can see food up over the year. I'm in with the wrong account. I have to switch account. I'm not going to do that here, but you can then see, if you go back 3 years, you will then see a 20% price rise in inflation, right? So if you look at overall food, it's gone up. What are we having trending here? It's gone up from 28% up to 31%. So still pretty high rise in food prices. 31% increase in food costs, just alone in the last year. So that's quite a, what's that? Here, what do we got here? Yeah, I'm on the aggregate. So let's go and see inflation index. Yeah, so it's maybe 31% since that period. Yeah, so 1 year. Okay, 1 year, it's not that bad. It's only about 3%. Yeah, so that's the aggregate view that you have associated with inflation. So 30% since 2020, right? So wow. That's a lot. And so inflation combined with several supply side shocks. So supply side shocks. Remember, historically, in the last 5 years, inflation has been on the supply side. If you watch Oliver's video and presentation, you'll see what is changing in the economy today and what is 2025 going to look like. Anyway, that's sort of coffee becoming a luxury. It is a luxury, and it is much cheaper to go and make your own coffee at home than it is to go to Starbucks and buy your Starbucks. And if you look over here, that's why Starbucks hasn't been performing this well. Although they had a big price, nothing here, no big price jump here anywhere. But then if you look at the other coffee company, who would you think of? Coffee, you think of Starbucks, and then who do you think of? You can think of Peet's, and you can think of Blue Bottle. You can think of all of those brands. You can think of McDonald's coffee too. But ultimately, you also think Nestle. And you look at Nestle stock. Look at this here, this bump here on Monday, the 9th of December, just yesterday. Bang! Huge spike up. Why? Mostly because coffee prices go up. And Nestle, oh, that's Nestle Pakistan Limited. I don't know why I'm in Nestle Pakistan Limited. Let's go. I don't know why I'm in Nest. Crypto. Man, Nestle. Nestle. Come on, search, baby. I don't want crypto. I want stocks. Nestle Pakistan, Nestle Nigeria, Nestle N stock on 6 in Switzerland. Wow, look at all these different markets where you can find these here. I want to find OTC, Nestle. Ooh, down. So only Pakistan went up. I don't know why OTC desk's going down. So actually not very good. Not a good investment advice. So don't follow that tip. Oh man, not a very good UX. Here, how's it doing in Switzerland? Let's have a look. Even here in Switzerland, it's down. So pretty crappy performance overall. Coffee hasn't been doing well. The biggest producers of coffee, the brands that I think of, are Nestle and Starbucks. Who do you think of? Let me know in the chat. I'd love to see who you think of. Death Wish coffee has some white powder in it when you drink it. Tim to kill. No, it doesn't. I don't think so. Yeah, no, it just has lots of caffeine. It's the world's strongest coffee. At least that's the brand name. So yeah, check it out. I love it. It tastes good too. It's really good. Actually, the coffee beans, I think, are from Hawaii. The company's in New York. So really good taste. But X brought me here. I'd rather listen on YouTube. Have subscribed. Awesome. Thanks, Maddie B. Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Let's see. How's Dunkin' Donuts doing? Dunkin'. Oh, I'm not on this tab here. Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin'. Oh, they're part of, what's the name of the brand? They're a part of the same guys that own Burger King. Who owns Dunkin' Donuts? It is something brands, Inspire Brands, a private equity held company. So we can't see that Yeah, so inspired brands. So, well, we can't see that, unfortunately. Inspire, is they, who are they owned by? Inspire Brands. No, no, no. It's a private equity held, so they're not going to be. They're looking to list that and float that at some point in time, and then um, go into the public markets with that and find buyers for it. Anyway, that was sort of pretty much it. I just wanted to cover what's going on a macro level. And please check out the video on YouTube. Let me give you a quick sneak peek on what that's going to look like. I will share this screen with you so you can have a look. Inflation. Yeah, so this is what all of us put together. It's a quick overview, but basically we come up on a monthly basis with the November inflation review, and inflation is continuing to accelerate. That should tell you what the direction is of where it's going. And if you look at Truflation.com, you'll be able to see exactly where it's going as well. We do real-time indexes, and if you look at this tab, you can see Truflation. We're up at 2.84%. The government is still at a 2.6 right now. And that is for headline, right? That's headline inflation that we track month on month. And you can see here on a steady upward trend. Came down a little bit, but it's still on an upward trend. And so still upward trend. And that trend is not stopping. All of us saying it's accelerating even further. So watch the video. It's really good insights. But a sneak peek over here, 2.7. The Truflation November BLS CPI forecast is 2.7%. So we predict the market is going to be up at 2.7%. But look at all the insights that we go through, right? So in quick terms, you can have a look at what some of the opportunities are. GDP's growing. Everything's going up. Consumer spending going up. Consumer spending is about 70% of the US economy, so it's going up. Retail sales going up. People are buying. So stores are making more money in the retail sector. Savings rate going up. People are earning more money. They're spending more money at the same time. Why are they spending more money? Are they earning more money, or are they generating more capital gains and income tax from stocks, from Bitcoin, and from other assets that have been appreciating? More jobs have been added to the market. And so unemployment rates holding steady at nice 4.2%. Consumer confidence and optimism is up. With Trump coming in, I think a lot of people are bullish and excited. So check that out. Although, even though savings are up, the debt is going up to all-time new highs as well, especially on credit card. But the delinquencies are coming down. So people are borrowing more, yet paying back faster or on time. That's super interesting to see, and how that change is moving things around. What specifically? All of it goes into the food, health, durables, housing, and transportation markets. And transportation markets, remember, is driven largely by oil. So watch the video. It's going to be really interesting. It's about 30 minutes long. He gives a quick download and presentation. I give him some questions so you can actually then play them off against each other and have some details associated with that. Unfortunately, this time doesn't work for him. It's pretty late, so we couldn't get him on. But we'll do more around their insights, especially around the FOMC. We'll try and get spaces going next week, so stay tuned. The FOMC have their meeting on the 17th and the 18th. On the 18th, we have the publishing of the new interest rate numbers, where Jerome Powell gives his presentation. Stay tuned to that, 18th of December. And we will have a spaces on the 17th of December around interest rates. Or maybe we'll do it live. Why don't we do it live? Maybe get everybody to come in. We'll do a spaces. Anybody can chime in. And we'll do a live when Jerome Powell comes out and speaks, and we can all talk about that. Maybe we'll do that in January. I think December is a very quiet month. Maybe we'll do it at the next FOMC meeting. Let me check the dates, and we'll get back to you on that. But that might be interesting. Let me know if you want to join, and then we can have everybody chime in. You are not live on X, guys, but I agree with Maddie. YouTube is good too. Oh, why are we not live on X? It should be live. It's told, oh, it ended. Huh. Damn it. Oh man, I have to go in again and Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. But glad you're over here on YouTube. Hope you're enjoying this. Sorry, guys. Really apologies that the well, now it's live, so I can hear myself speak, and I'm going to mute this so it doesn't hear me. Okay, great. So now you're live. Sorry about that. But here again, you can just see from Oliver the presentation that he shares. This is basically to all our clients. So if you subscribe to the channel, you get this a bit of in advance. So you get this either on Friday, the week before, or Monday, yesterday, where we shared it to the community. So sign up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll get you updates. And it's not much. It's only $10 a month or less than, and then you can get all these insights. And if you're paying Truth tokens, it's much more convenient. And we now have or are coming to a point where Truth tokens will be accepted, as we now have updated to the new token. Anyway, that's some insights. But here you can see some of the things that will keep the economy healthy, but also help drive a 2.8 at the end of this quarter, right? So again, the trend is upwards. So mark that metric here, 2.8. We're saying 2.7 for November, but we still have December. Remember, these are very consumption-oriented months. November and December, we have Thanksgiving, we have the holiday season, we have Christmas, and then we have New Year, right? So a lot of celebrations, and we're going into a 2025 that is going to focus heavily on bringing down prices, and largely through oil. Oil drives a lot of pricing, given the importance to the supply chain, to transportation. Anyway, watch Oliver's video and the video that we did. It's on YouTube. You can watch it anytime. Hope you enjoy that. But yeah, the last thing is stay tuned and watch that video, because we go over what are the two main things that that is going to drive 2025. You've been following our Twitter. If you're following our Twitter, you know about the golden age and what we've been talking about for quite a while. It's going to be an amazing ride, and we're going to kick it off really fast. This is going to go into overdrive really quickly. Think of ludicrous mode in a Tesla from 0 to 100. That's the experience we're going to go into this new economy in 2025. And I think that's the anticipation. That's the hope. And if you think about the US economy, it's growing at 3.2% right now. 3.2% already off the base that it has. Imagine going into overdrive, into ludicrous mode. What does that going to feel like? How is that going to gazump the Chinese market, the European market, snoozer, right? Even at least the Chinese, they work 996. So 996 means they're going to be keeping up with the pace. They work sort of crypto speed. But it's just going to be interesting to see how that works. Check out that video, follow that, and yeah, I'll tell Oliver he needs Death Wish coffee, and then he can do these shows as well. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. I kept this short. We got more views here than we got usually, so really happy about that. Sorry about X not working properly. The media studio, I don't know why, it just shut us out. Maybe I said something that wasn't appropriate, but I think it's free speech, so it should be okay. I'm glad it's working now, so you get the tail end of this. Watch the Oliver YouTube video. We'll be sharing that out tonight. So it'll go out in a bit of a newsletter, so you get it after the show. But hopefully that gave you a bit of an overview of where things are going. We're back on track, really excited about what we're working on at Truflation, the Truth Network, Truflation, Index.fund that you've heard about. Check that out and sign up early, because just do that. And then Nuon. Nuon is the first flat coin and is now a inflation-proof yield-bearing protocol, right? So check that out. Watch what that's going to do and how you are no longer going to be tied to a money printer. You're going to be protected against inflation. It's providing you inflation insurance. So check that out. And yeah, we will be sharing more with you on those very quickly before the new year and in the new year, even doubling down on those. So thank you. Hope you enjoyed this. Get your truth tokens and yeah, use the Truth Network. The main metric around that is going to be velocity. So how do we drive velocity in 2025 around the Truth token and the Truth Network? On that note, I'm going to clock off. Thank you, everybody. Have a happy Tuesday and Wednesday, and catch you again on Thursday. Same time, 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and 6 p.m. Central European time. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. See you Thursday. Bye for now.